I think we can all relate to those moments where we reach for something that isn't good for us because we need a moment of comfort. We can all relate to those moments where we reach for the ice cream because we've had a bad day. But that is one of the big mistakes people make when it comes to self-care, is reaching for something as nourishment for a part of the mind, body, or soul that's actually not nourishment for that part of us. You've all probably heard me talk about how our body is the temple, our mind is the altar for our soul in this life. So today I want to share with you my little quick tip on how to make sure that we're actually caring for ourselves in a spiritual way, but just caring for ourselves in a way in which is actually caring for ourselves rather than hurting ourselves. Because that's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to stay stuck in those cycles of hurting and healing and hurting and healing. But we do this. We get ourselves stuck there rather than actually healing and moving forward to better when we reach for something that we think will comfort ourselves that's not actually nourishment for the part of ourselves that needs comfort. This has been coming up a lot recently, and a great example of this is one of the things my friend was sharing when it came to her relationship with food, where she would reach for food as a comfort to herself. But food is first and foremost nourishment for our body, the temple of our soul that is our body. It's not first and foremost nourishment for the mind. When I say the mind, I'm not talking about the brain. I'm talking about the mind. And there are things that nourish our soul as well. But we want to make sure that we're actually nourishing the part of us we're trying to nourish in the moment, rather than trying to nourish that part of ourselves with something else that's not nourishment for that, because when we do that, we're actually hurting ourselves. So here's my little quick tip. Anytime you feel like you need nourishment in some way, whether that be because you are hungry, or because you are feeling sad, or because your body doesn't feel well, or because your mind doesn't feel well, or maybe you're feeling that existential moment where your soul needs nourishment. But we can confuse them. So slow down. You feel like you need nourishment, but slow down and ask yourself, what part of myself actually needs nourishment? Is it my body that needs nourishment? Is it my mind or my soul that needs nourishment? Answer that question for yourself, and then make sure you're reaching for something to nourish that part of yourself. Ask yourself, what actually nourishes that part of myself? I'm feeling like my body needs nourishment because I'm feeling hungry. So go eat something. But I'm feeling upset and like my mind needs nourishment. Don't reach for that food. Reach for something that will actually nourish your mind. Like a moment of relaxation, like going to spend time with friends. Whatever it might be, journaling, meditation, a lot of the same things that nourish the soul, nourish the mind, and vice versa. But you start to understand what I'm saying. You want to make sure that you've actually thought about, okay, my mind is what needs nourishment, not my body. So let's go find something that nourishes my mind, rather than trying to nourish my mind with something for my body. And then ask yourself, once you've tuned into what needs nourishment, what actually nourishes this part of me? And go get that, instead of trying to nourish that part of yourself with something else. And that, my friends, is how you spiritually, or just in general, actually have moments of self-care. Actually care for yourself in a way that won't keep you stuck in that cycle of hurting and healing and hurting and healing and hurting and healing that you've probably been stuck in. If not right now, you know it. And actually move forward to better, rather than feeling stuck like a dense, immovable ball of energy so you can feel like that clean, clear channel of energy. You know you're meant to be. All right, guys, thank you for joining me for another video. I'm Annie, your Silicon Valley Sage Sister, here to help you raise your level of being, not just your level of knowledge. You know, I actually was feeling kind of cruddy today because I woke up actually yesterday feeling a little crappy. Long story short, not going to give you TMI, just, you know, some days you can't help but wake up feeling a little gross. No matter how much you care for yourself, mistakes happen. But I had a moment of energy, and this subject matter has been coming up so many times in the last couple of days. I was like, I'm feeling it in the moment here. I'm going to get on and do this. Because even though my body does feel a little crappy, I am just feeling so inspired. And I needed that little bit of nourishment for my mind and my soul. Because I was nourishing my body as well. So, as always, may the energies you serve you well. Let's keep making our way through, and I'll see you in the next one.